The pace car is away, and we are about to get ready to go green for the second super speedway race of the season. And Gary, what we're going to immediately see right away as they get this green flag is we're probably going to see everybody jump out 3 wide, and the first one to do it, I'm looking to see if we see anybody do it. Actually, never mind, they all stay in line, and nobody goes 3 wide just yet as they're all trying to get up to speed. Ward Burton does dive to the inside, might be taking Ricky Craven 3 wide back there, and Tony Stewart gets out to possibly a little bit of an uncomfortable bit of a lead here, Gary. He's already way out front, and even though they aren't up to speed yet, this is perhaps a little bit too much of a lead for him. He's going to get jumped all over by Rusty Wallace and any of those guys with a pushback behind him.
We got to look in the background. J.O. all the way outside of the top 10. On the outside is that number 6 Viagra Ford Mustang of Mark Martin. Jay, every week you ask me, you said, has Mark Martin peaked too early in the race? And well, look at this right now, and he's in the towards the back half of the grid. You have to wonder, maybe is he going to finally save the hard charge for the end of the race here now as we watch him try to progress on that outside, but not making much progress so far.
Week after week after week of Gary saying the same exact thing about this driver of Mark Martin. But you know what? This time around, Gary, he doesn't start up towards the front. He is towards the back, and he does have a lot of ground to make up. As you see, they're already 3 by 3 by 3 by 3. I mean, they're in a monstrosity of a pack right here. I don't know how he's going to be able to make his way forward because all 3 lanes are clogged with cars right now. But I'm sure Mark Martin will find his way to the front at some point. Some of these drivers back here, like Terry Labonte, Kevin Harvick's back here as well. These guys maybe just trying to bide their time. Mark Martin as well, hoping they can avoid a crash.
Absolutely. Don't want to be taken out in the big one early on here in Talladega, especially with the points on the line. I mean, Jay, look at Mark Martin. He's about to be dead last year, just about. Other than that car right there, Sterling Marlin. So he's definitely not driving very hard right now, as he's taking it pretty soft. As you see Terry Labonte on the inside, Kevin Harvick in the middle, Jeff Gordon as well back here. So a lot of big names here towards the back.
3 wide is dissipated just a little bit up towards the front of the pack, but it's not going to be very long until that happens once again. And oh, there's actually a big crash right in the background. All those drivers who tried to stay in the back and avoid a crash, well, they're the ones who just crashed. Jeff Gordon involved in that, Matt Kenseth, Tony Stewart, Kurt Busch, Rusty Wallace. A lot of big name drivers who were hanging around towards the middle or the back of this pack just got destroyed in a crash on lap number 6. One of the first times we've seen 4 wide today, and it's Ricky Craven who makes contact with Terry Labonte, and they just go spinning and crashing, and Matt Kenseth involved hard. There's John Andretti as well. Tony Stewart gets a big lick of that as well. A lot of guys with big damage already here in Talladega after they were just trying to avoid a crash. They're involved in one.
I was proven right earlier, Jay. I said 3 wide is really not a big deal when it comes to Talladega whatsoever, but it's 4 wide is what you got to watch out for. How that big one ignite, they tried to go 4 wide just barely, and what we saw the result of that. Jimmy Johnson to the lead here. Dale Earnhardt Jr. though up the inside. These two have a history at Talladega Superspeedway, one racing for the lead together. Just keep that Brian Vickers car out of the way, but fortunately Brian Vickers is not on the grid here. It's actually Joe Nemechek in that number 25 now as he's going to go up to the top here. Robbie Gordon, Jeff Gordon's brother Jay, up into the mix as well. Jeff Gordon was in the back and had a very small piece of that first incident, and he was in the back again, and now here he is working his way up here now. And Jay, he doesn't even need to fight for stage points. He can ride in the back all day if he wanted to, but he is fighting for playoff points. Of course, those are going to be very, very important to him. So I guess that's why we see him up here, probably in the need of trying to get an extra playoff point. There he goes for the move.
Well, also as well, Gary, you think about it. He was just riding around in the back of that pack, and what happened to him? He got caught up in a crash, and you can see a little bit of damage to the front end of that car. But luckily for Jeff, he was able to avoid it for the most part, not get much damage. But I'm sure he learned right away that, okay, maybe the best place to be is leading this race instead of trying to avoid it in the back of the pack. And what he does is immediately goes up to the front, and is now potentially going to lead this lap. I thought for a moment he would be able to lead it, but then he goes up to block the high side. Now he's going to get hung out in the middle. Actually, Michael Waltrip might be the one getting hung out, and Sterling Marlin does go to the inside to help him. And that time by across the line, it is Ricky Rudd who leads. So Jeff Gordon still hasn't technically led a lap yet, but only 3 laps to go in stage number 1. Gary, I was wrong. We're catching Terry Labonte momentarily. And they're 3 wide. This is going to get really sketchy.
I figured they would get there. I figured they would, but I just didn't want to burst your bubble there of hope. So, yeah, they certainly are going to get there as Harvick has to check up, and Dave Blaney, the stealing man Jones, is going to go to the lead here as they head down this back straightaway. I mean, fortunately, Jay, it's not causing an incident, but it is certainly causing havoc as we now see a 3-car breakaway, and everyone lost so much momentum that they're still struggling to get past that number 5. And here goes the outside now, just picking up a little bit of momentum, but now the 5 is going to move to the middle. So the only thing we can really do, Jay, is actually hope that we have another accident and the 5 gets absolutely demolished in said accident here with 2 laps to go in stage 1.
More help on the bottom than there is on the outside for Dale Jarrett currently, and Dave Blaney needs that 25 of Joe Nemechek to come up to the inside here and push Blaney out to the lead. He does off turn 4. Blaney's going to go up to block now against Dale Jarrett. That'll give Nemechek the opportunity to take the inside lane heading into the tri-oval, but still the momentum is on Dave Blaney's side through the tri-oval for the final time at stage number 1. It looks like it's going to be Joe Nemechek, I think, as it crossed the line. We'll wait for it to update. No, it was Dave Blaney, actually. I had the wrong angle there. Dave Blaney still retains the victory there in stage number 1. So Gary, a surprising stage win for that driver of the 77, who's going to try and use that to his advantage and maybe try and claw back into this day or this playoff picture here. But he's got a lot of work to do. And it's Kevin Harvick, who's had an abysmal season so far. I mean, to Kevin Harvick standards and to what we expect from Kevin Harvick, especially in real life, this has been a god-awful season for him. I think if I look at the points, he's just barely inside the top 30, Gary. And a win here in Talladega would be extremely huge for a guy like Kevin Harvick, who's actually not inside the top 30. He's in the red currently. He's, I believe, 31st in the standings. So for Harvick, this would be a huge moment for him if he's able to get the win. But obviously, it's very early in stage 2. We're still a long way away from getting that checkered flag.
Far too early to be talking about the race win here. Michael Waltrip up the inside, and you know, talk about Michael Waltrip here getting a win. This would be huge for his playoffs, but that contradicts the point of me talking about a race win too early, so we're not going to bother with that. But you see this continuous trend. They just continue to merge up the track on the exit of turn 4. So, Jay, what we're finding out quick is the very simple thing that if you're leading on this final lap, I don't know. I mean, Jeff Gordon did. No, he actually scored us basically a tie at the line there between him and the 45. But it certainly seems like second place is the better place to be, especially on the exit of turn 4.
Dale Jr. is going to look to take that momentum on his side and make the pass on Kyle Petty here for the lead as they cross the line. This time, it looks like it will be Dale Jr. as they cross it. Let's see if he is listed. He is the leader that time by. It's a tie again, Gary. That's 2 laps in a row. We've had a tie at the line for the lead. As Dale Jr. goes down to try and block that 40 car of Sterling Marlin, who we saw disconnected from this pack earlier in the race. Now he's connected with it again and fighting for the lead against Dale Jr. that time across the line. It's listed as a tie again. What in the world is going on here, Gary? That's the last 3 laps that we've been paying attention to it that it's been a tie. Who knows how many other times it's been a tie?
45 more is all they need to do. We've done it 3 consecutive. Can we do 45 more?
And so far here in Talladega, I think he's got a good chance again, but he's got to stop doing stuff like that where he goes up to the high side. Now allows Ricky Rudd to his inside, and then Dale Jr. goes to the inside of Rudd. They're going to crash in the background. That's going to be a big crash once again. Jeff Gordon is the only one turned around, almost gets hit by the second pack. My goodness, Jeff Gordon somehow out of all that smoke, is the only one who winds up spun around in our second crash of the day. 4 wide once again, and it's Bobby who turns Bobby into Robbie, and they all go gliding up to the outside wall. Michael Waltrip involved pretty heavy. Johnny Benson was up on 2 wheels. Jeff Gordon, the only one who goes around, but he's definitely not the only one who gets some heavy damage. Getting ready to go green once again here in Talladega, and we've had some weird strategy happen. We had Matt Kenseth and Ricky Craven and Terry Labonte all stay out on track. Labonte is counted a lap down, but Craven and Kenseth are not. But they both have damaged cars. So, Gary, this is going to be, I think, quite the wacky restart. We already see Dale Jr. jump to the outside of Terry Labonte. He's the only lucky one who's done that so far. So far now it's the 36, the 22, the 30. I mean, everybody pretty much stuck behind that 5 car right now. But Dale Jr.'s got to also work around these 2 damaged cars in front of him who are on the lead lap and leading this race currently.
Thoughts and prayers to everybody behind that number 5 here as we come to just 2 laps to go in this second middle stage, and then we're going to be underway for the final about 34 laps or so of this race. There goes Dale Jr. up the inside for the lead over Matt Kenseth there in that number 17. You can see certainly, Jay, a lack of pace in several cars on this circuit, and I think Dale Jr. is about to have a walk-off stage victory here at a very unexpected way in Talladega. As Ryan Newman is up the inside, and he's going to take the lead, Jay, on this final lap of stage 2.
Yeah, Dale Jr. was caught out right there, actually, and Ryan Newman now gets to the inside, gets past him, goes up to the outside, and here is the 40 of Sterling Marlin looking to making a move to the inside of Ryan Newman, but then Bobby Hamilton might actually take it 3 wide for second place, and I don't know if this is going to help or hurt Ryan Newman, who actually might be 3 wide for the lead now. It will be 3 wide for the lead. Ryan Newman has no momentum up on the top. He does not have that big mo. The inside does. Bobby Hamilton comes off turn 4 with the lead in stage number 2. He might be able to pull this victory off because nobody around him has the momentum. Bobby Hamilton, Gary, is going to be a stage winner in this 2002 season. Have you ever? He gets the stage victory in stage number 2. So, under caution, we've had a bit of an awkward situation here. Nobody could get it figured out, and Kevin Harvick actually goes up and over and tumbling multiple times down this back straightaway. Ken Schrader gets turned as well, and then it's going to get worse from there. Kevin Harvick is out of this race under caution as everybody just comes piling in. A whole bunch of cars are going to have a ton of damage after this. We might have 5 or 6 cars rolling around this track who are way off pace as everybody just continues to come slamming into this. Mark Martin as well. Terry Labonte. I noticed Terry Labonte just got hit right there, Gary. Let's hope that's enough to DNF him. Oh my God!
I don't even want to know.
They're all crashing! Oh my God!
They weren't even on the back straightaway yet.
Oh my God. Oh
That's one
my
way to do it.
God. Oh my God. Back underway in Talladega for the start of stage number 3. Going to be 32 laps to go as we cross the line this time to start lap number 45. And Gary, this has turned into all of a sudden now it's 2 weeks in a row of us having incredibly wacky races. There's 13 cars out of this race, and most of them are the big name drivers once again for a second week in a row. And what it's done is it's still left us with Bobby Hamilton leading this race. And I mean, you look at the top 5, it's probably the most wacky top 5 you could ever have. You have Bobby Hamilton, Ward Burton, Stacy Compton, Jerry Nadeau, and Jimmy Spencer all in the top 5 of this race. I don't know if you could find a much more wacky top 5 than that right there.
Jimmy Spencer up here in the top 5. His head's down into turn 3, trying to use that slipstream from that number 22 on the inside, and certainly a wacky top 5 indeed. And I mean, I think we're in for an interesting final stage here now. As you can see, we've lost a little bit of the grid, and we lost a couple cars that are under yellow with Kevin Harvick barrel rolling, tumbling down the back straightaway, and his rough luck this season continues in very unexpected fashion here. But Jay, you know who's still in this race?
Terry Labonte's not in this race, so that's a good thing. But who is still?
Mark Martin is still in this race, and we're waiting for him to still peak there in that number 6 car. But I mean, you can see that it's got no rear bumpers, so that the peaking that he might have done, which really wasn't much this time around, is still looking like it was too early. This is certainly going to get interesting here now as Kyle Petty leads the way as they head down this front stretch into this tri-oval, and let's see what happens here now. They are going to try and split him. I mean, Petty's going to go around the outside, and he's going to get a decent lead here momentarily now. I think we can only hope they don't go 4 wide right here.
Yeah, and I thought they were going to be able to split him for a moment, but then unfortunately that third lane gets formed. I don't know why they chose to go to that third lane, and now they're going to be stuck behind this the 17 car pretty heavily here. We'll also get an idea if he has any speed here, as well as he does get pushed back up to speed in this pack. He's up to 189 miles an hour, which is, I think, only about 10 mile an hour off of our leaders, but still slow enough to cause some havoc here as they all try and navigate around him. And that has now given Kyle Petty a massive lead in this race. But right behind him, I mean, you see these guys already, a good majority of them gotten through. They're single file as well, Gary. They're going to run up on this 45 very quickly. 10 laps to go, and just as we were coming back, the 77, the leaders had to go through him again, and then there's this actual other pack of lap cars right here who are now blocking the leaders. Bobby Hamilton got out to a huge lead, but now he's getting blocked by them. Jimmy Spencer's in second now, and then Steve Park, Elliott Sadler as well here as well. Jimmy Johnson, Dale Jr. still in reach, in grasp of the front of the pack at the moment, but right now Dale Jr.'s got a little bit of work to do, and he's going to have to hope that these guys get held up continuously right there. Boy. Steve Park almost turned Ricky Craven, but Gary, Dale Jr. right now is going to need a massive help from all these lap cars to hold up all of our leaders right now in order to get back with this pack.
And here comes Jimmy Johnson. Is this the right time, Jay? Like I said, I don't think you want to be leading with the trends we've seen from the AI, even when
well, he won't be leading there.
I don't think you want to be leading on that final lap. As they cross the line, I mean, it looks like for sure they're going to get close. But Jimmy Johnson, Jay, up the inside with a move on the final lap here. But we'll have to wait and see what lap traffic plays a role here.
Big move from Jimmy Johnson into turn 1 on the final lap, Garrett, but this might be a little bit too early. Lap car or not, he's got Bobby Hamilton right behind him, and Jimmy actually might slide up to the middle lane here and give that door open to Bobby Hamilton, and he does give the door to Bobby Hamilton, who's still looking to make it 3 wide for the lead momentarily. He will make it 3 wide for the lead as they catch these lap cars as well. That might actually screw over the 55, and now we'll see if Jimmy Johnson is able to get clear, or Ward Burton as well. Going down this front straightaway now, actually the lap cars go up to block Jimmy Johnson.
Oh my God.
And my God, we might see Bobby Hamilton win this race. We will see Bobby Hamilton win this race. Hold on now. Ward Burton's got to run to the outside, but it's not going to be enough. Bobby Hamilton somehow just pulled off the upset of a lifetime in Talladega and is your victory, or is your winner from this second super speedway race of the season. And Gary, that is probably as big of an upset win as it gets, but thankfully for the playoff picture, it changes nothing because he is well outside that top 30. But Bobby Hamilton with a huge win here in Talladega, and what it does is gives him the opportunity, if he's somehow able to pull inside that top 30, he will be locked into the playoffs, but he's got a lot of work to do. I don't have the exact points pulled up right now, but I know that he is very far low in our point standings and is quite considerably far off of that top 30. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this race here in Talladega for our NASCAR 20 years later season. I think we're about 10 races into the year now, and the points are starting to they're starting to shape up, and we're starting to see who's going to make the playoffs and who isn't. But we still got a long way to go in this regular season, and next week we head to Dover, so that could be another chaotic race, and it could be one where we see something wacky happen once again. But thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, evening, night, whatever, whenever you're watching this. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.